Oh, no, 3, and this will be, just introduce yourself. Who are you?
Hi, Dennis, I'm Joanne.
Ladies and gentlemen, Joanne.
Moshi, Joanne.
Moshi, Joanne. Ahoy, hoy, and indeed, what's the...
Oigame, digame.
Oigame, digame. Vic Reeves and Bob Mortimer, last night, were very, very keen to know more about you.
Are they?
Yeah, they were. they were saying, oh, is it real, Joanne? Is that true? I said, absolutely real, yeah. I may have given them too much information, actually, but they were very... And they send their hellos.
Not that Danny can be bought by 2 halves of cider, but that's all I'm saying.
So, Joe, what developments? Happy New Year to you, Joe.
Happy New Year.
For new listeners, yeah, right. For new listeners, Joe is an old correspondent of ours, a couple of months now, whereby we asked, are you strangely attracted, sexually attracted to footballers? Joe has slept with a Premier League manager, several, we can say now, Premier League footballers, in an ongoing thing. And she regularly rings in and updates us, and we love her, and she sent us Christmas presents, the whole thing. Joe, what news do you bring?
Well, I was in Barcelona for Christmas, New Year.
With?
Well, just with my friends, but Bo 1 came over to see me.
He flew out all this sounds... See, Bo 1 was right off the scene for a while, wasn't he?
Well, he's in there.
He's a background presence.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, he is.
Okay, he's deep throat. Okay. Oh, man, could I have picked the worst? Sorry.
Yeah, you couldn't really, no.
It took a second there as well, I didn't think. So, so you're in Barcelona.
Yeah.
He came out to see you.
Came out to see me. My friends weren't too happy, but...
Why? Because you were snogging all the time?
Yeah, and we'd said, no men involved in that holiday.
Yeah, it was a girls' weekend.
Well,
anyway.
Joe, that was always going to be a paper promise, wasn't it, from you? No, yeah, that's right, no men for all the new year. Okay.
And you know how he's trying to find a new club?
Yes.
Well, he got me and my friends to ring some Spanish clubs pretending to be his agent.
You're kidding?
No.
You see, I always say that you're kidding, and we always find out she's not. The more far-fetched, the more we have it cross-referenced, and we do try and...
Does he not have a proper agent, Joe?
He does, but his agent's rubbish. His agent's an alcoholic, apparently.
Really?
That's what he told me.
And
mind you, I can't. That leaves most football agents going. All right. Do I have him on the books? I nearly said his bloody name there.
Did you really?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
Lucky for you, you don't know it. But
no, I always forget it. I get them all mixed up. So you rang a few clubs.
I rang a few clubs.
Okay, Dan. What are they saying with Spanish people when you answer?
Oigame.
So you got through to, for instance, who did you ring?
Oh, I started off at Barcelona.
Okay, so I'm
actually knowing the player, I'd move down to at least Deportivo La Coruña if I were you.
So you picked up the phone and said,
Oigame,
and you said.
I said, hello, I'm calling from my club, the club I used to work at, pretended I was there. And I said, have you heard of this player? He's blah-de-blah. And I lied and said that he played for his country several times.
He played in his country several times, hasn't he? To be fair.
Yeah. Now, have you, was he sitting beside you, sort of tapping your leg?
He was writing things down for me.
Bet he was. No, say this.
And did anyone bite?
No, not really.
Did nobody request a video of him in action?
Aye, we have many times, but there you go, sorry, yeah.
Oh.
No, it's a gift. No, it was a gift.
I know.
So no luck there, then?
Well, Mallorca took my number, and they rang me back at the hotel.
Small beer Mallorca, aren't they?
No, top of the table right now.
Yeah, I know, but in the same way as QPR sometimes top the table, isn't it?
It's the new year, Danny.
Yeah, well, Charlton supporters are learning that. Anyway, so you did that, and Mallorca are the only one who's showing any interest,
Mallorca was the only one that rang me back and said they wanted some details, like his sort of, his achievements to date.
No, they're so cynical, Mallorca, aren't they? Yeah, instead of taking it on faith when a phony agent rings up.
You could give him some CV, though, can't you?
Okay, well, we're just going to make it up.
Well,
the whole thing.
Exactly.
Did you see, were you out and about on the New Year?
Yes, I stayed in Barcelona for New Year.
No, but were you actually when the actual midnight went over, or did you do, couples like to see?
Went to a club with my friends, yeah, and him.
And him.
Yeah.
Oh, your friends really must be saying thanks a lot, didn't they?
Yeah, they were.
Yeah, and what are you up to today?
Well, I've got to work today, so I'm at no matches or anything today. But I've got my nice new car from Bo 3.
Yeah, but you've got $5,000 off of the manager.
That's really gone now.
I bet it is.
You got $5,000 off the... Did that pay for Barcelona?
I did, yeah.
Yeah, so for the manager who said, now, for the love of God, give me my photos and letters.
Now you've got to make a decision whether to squeeze him some more.
Yeah, because you've still retained some letters, haven't you?
Yeah, and some photos.
Squeezage.
Oh, that's a bit of a squeeze, yeah, exactly. Yeah.
You know, one of those orange plastic things that you squeeze the orange down onto.
The photos, is he recognisable from the photos?
Oh, God, yes.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, there wouldn't be much.
What, even to ordinary people?
No, because you don't know. I mean, sometimes they cut the heads off in these photos, don't they? You know, you do. When you see Contact magazines, I don't know. Either they wear the masking tape across their eyes, or else the head's cut
And they
off.
blur them out now with that kind of electronic thing.
Yeah. No, but if you squint, you can get rid of the mosaic.
You'd know it from these, Dan. If I'd have showed you that time I met you...
And you had them on us.
Yes.
And I was wearing a jumper that made me look really fat. And I forgot you were coming in, otherwise I'd have worn
a special hat.
And a special hat. Yeah, but anyway, but you've still got those. I think you can squeeze him for a few more quid.
Well, I should start talking about him again then, and he'll start panicking and ring me back.
Leave that to us, my dear. Thank you very much indeed, Joe. We've got to take a very quick break, and when we come back from here, hopefully be yourselves, 0500 1053 89.
Cheering presence, isn't she?
She's wonderful. Right, we're virtually out of time, I'm afraid. We really are. Apologise if you're hanging on. Take the numbers of anyone who's hanging on, and we'll make them first calls next week if they can bear it, because we must do this list that Dan's brought with us.
This is from I've lost all. Oh no, Adam Kirk. He has now sent us some more players currently playing in Holland and Belgium.
Hang on.
Patrick Asselman, Joel Bartholomew, Pascal Beacon, Christ Bruno, Tino Crab. Of course, Tino Crab.
I did Tino Crab.
Eve Comes.
That's the letter we couldn't read out, right?
Thierry Flies, Rudy Hose, Ivan Merchandise, David Swordfeggers, Rude Brood, and Rhonda Brood.
Help me, Rhonda Brood.
Addict Coot, Rennie Punk, Walter Smack, Remco Torken, and coming up, the last two, of course, Wim Bubberman and Fabian Hoahing. That's Fabian Hoahing.
Oh, they were great. Oh, no, as usual, I like to pick out one or two you may have overlooked there, Dan. I think this one here, I just saw Kujalians, right, and then Ivo Jongapia, but Addict Coot. Where's my favourite? Where's my Rennie Punk? But where is he?
Might be on the previous page, you don't know. And Ron Boom and Ron Boom.
Wim Bubberman. Where was the one I loved? My favourite.
Oh, right, he's near the top there.
Even Merchandise, Swaltfeggers, no, Asselman, Bartholomew, Pascal Beacon, Christ, Brune, Tino Crab. There was a Tino Crab on the top of that a minute ago. Where's it gone? Now, a Tino Crab. I'm sorry. Sunday tea time, you got the angel cake out. Where's that Tino Crab gone? Yeah. That is superb. Thank you very much indeed.
That's
a fantastic audience is seeing us through this, because it's 50% us. No, it's 10% us. No, it's all us. All right. Let's have this promised letter about, what's her name?
This is from Jennifer. Now, I need you to get a blank piece of paper, because there's a lot of clues in here, and we need to put together geography and career paths to will lead us to the identities of these several footballers.
Now, if you're listening this morning, our correspondent Joanne, this comes on the back of our call about...
She's no Joanne, Jennifer, but she admits that herself.
Really? Oh, yeah. Joanne is a great correspondent.
But the difference is...
I'm sure Joanne's listening intently now.
And the difference is, this one is prepared to tell us how good they were.
Wow, Matt.
Okay. This starts...
We've got to get very serious there.
This starts
to business.
Ramon Vega, exclamation mark. Of course it does. I'm writing to you regarding your I keep going out with footballers category. Now, I cannot rival your previous correspondence, Joanne, for quantity, but I do believe that the quality of footballers I have had outdoes them all. Yeah. I'm a curvy 21-year-old girl who regularly visits the night spots in the north of England, right down north of England.
North?
And hang on. North of England.
Okay.
And two of the three footballers I have had encounters with were picked up from such places. So it's three. We know there's three in the north of England.
Three players.
Yeah. Okay. The first was a couple of years ago, so there's a timeline for you as well.
3 years.
I shall not name names. All I will say is that he is a very well-known attacking midfield player from the northwest of England.
Okay. Attacking midfield from the northwest?
Yeah.
Okay.
He has played for his country, but I would certainly not pick him for his country when it comes to the art of love-making.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there we go.
Okay.
Secondly, last year I slept with another international footballer from the same club. Okay.
See, I started this by saying I'm attracted to Sunday footballers. Nobody is.
No.
International.
That's because they don't use the showers, Danny.
International or nothing. Okay, yeah.
All right. At the time, just like footballer number 1, player 2 had a girlfriend. page 3 model.
Really?
Oh, that doesn't narrow it down at all.
And told me that I was much better looking than her. And he didn't go on to say, I love you, and the check's in the post.
Yeah.
The third and final of my trio was picked up during a holiday in Tenerife, and is without doubt the most well-known of the footballers I have had. Now, that encounter happened this summer in the toilet of a bar.
Oh, shush. What happened to romance?
At 4 a.m. in the morning. Now, the catch is that the football is not a British player, but a well-known player who has recently moved to a club in the north of England from another Premiership club.
Right, okay, yeah.
Now, without getting too graphic, she says, because I know this is a family show.
Yeah, right.
The aforementioned...
By the skin of its teeth.
This is good now, this is good. This is very graphic now, so tie yourself in.
I wouldn't do it.
And you will.
No, we're getting to... You can't.
Shush
You can't.
now.
Me and you should do it afterwards in the pub.
Shush now.
All right, I'm backing out. So the tribunal listening to this about to fine the station £1 million, this is where I bail out. I've got to say, Geronimo!
Without getting too graphic, I know this is a family show. The aforementioned player, who had been dancing and drinking with me for a number of hours, suddenly grabbed my arm and led me into the men's toilet. The player then performed a slightly rough sexual act upon me, in the style of the movie 9.5 Weeks.
Hang on. I'm coming on board again there.
Oh, you're hopping on again now, are you?
As he did.
So to speak.
So 9.5 weeks after the blindfold and the fruit out the fridge.
Yeah, and a slightly rough sexual act.
Yeah.
Okay. The anonymous player, now this is where we get down to Alex Ferguson style detail, was no Luther Blissett, rather John Walk.
Okay.
But he was certainly experienced and seemed to have a lot of anger to let out, judging by the grunting noises.
Why is this woman writing to us with all of this?
Shush, let me finish.
Oh, Jamie's put his thumbs up. Yeah, go on.
Judging by the grunting noises he made between gritted teeth. She likes this, she goes on to tell us later on. This surprised me, as this player has a well-earned reputation for his laid-back attitude.
Laid back.
Okay, so he's foreign, he's played for 2 Premiership clubs,
I've got written down Tenerife toilet, north of England men's toilet, laid back grunt.
No, you're just writing down the bits Jamie wants later.
This is a bit, okay, yeah.
Okay, he surprised me, the grunting and the gritted teeth and the gripping surprised her because...
Now, this is the international footballer who's not British.
Foreign player, played for 2 Premiership clubs, one further north than the other, as they almost inevitably are.
Yeah,
okay. This surprised me, as this player has a well-earned reputation for his laid-back attitude. However, he then proceeded to leave me on the toilet floor and left. I have never seen him again. But when he comes on the TV, a smile immediately comes to my face. She enjoyed this, you see, unlike the other 2, who I just laugh at and pity their poor girlfriends.
Wow.
Yours in confidence, Jennifer. P.S. This is all 100% true. If you don't believe, then tough.
Let's show, but it is in a beautifully typed letter, and there it is. Jennifer, proper girly writing with a little heart above the eye. If you don't believe me, then tough. Now, of course, like you say, the third one is the intriguing one. The first is just when he comes on television. So let's go down the...
No, let's look at what we've got here,
He's
David.
a Premiership player.
David, let's look at the evidence. North of England, 3 players, a couple of years, attacking midfield and a national. Who has it off like that? Number 2, an international and a page 3 girls bloke. David, it's over to you. And number 3, Tenerife, a toilet, north of England, a further men's toilet, laid back and grunting.
Sounds like
a recipe for romance.
Same toilet.
Oh, same toilet.
Same toilet.
Same
He's
toilet. Not 2 separate toilets at all.
No, same toilet.
And he left her on the floor.
And
she enjoyed this.
Yeah, she did, yeah. She enjoyed the fact he was grunting.
Nice a bloke.
You are.
I've gone the florist route all these years. In fact, it's the great smell of Zal they're all after.
Yeah.
John on 4, line 4. OK, John, thank you for calling Talk Radio. You're on the air on this, our very last ever Saturday evening. What do you want to tell us, John?
Hi, Dan.
Yeah, John.
I'm a Millwall supporter, but it doesn't actually involve Millwall, the story what I'm going to tell you.
OK.
I got a bit fed up with the way they was playing last season.
Oh, last season?
Last decade, yeah.
OK.
And I'd seen them play at about 70 grounds. So I thought to myself, I'm going to try to do all the grounds, you know?
OK, yeah.
So I went to about 7 or 8, and then...
What, independently, whether they were playing or not, you just went to see other grounds?
Right, yeah, just see how long as Millwall were playing.
What were involved? What kind of grounds were in those 7 or 8?
It was all the low ones, like Hartlepool and Darlington.
That's right, you're never going to see us there, are you?
That's right, hopefully not. But what the story was, I went to Preston, Deepdale,
yeah.
and I'm a 40-year-old man.
Deep Dale.
Carry on. Yes.
This is what makes the story even funny. Anyway, you know, being on a long train ride, I had sort of 5 or 6 newspapers with me, South London Press, Stand and a few others, and a couple of notebooks. You know, I was jotting a few things down and that.
This sounds like the Peter and Dud. Anyway, carry on, yeah.
You know, I sort of wasted
I thought we were South London Press. Sorry, we'll get straight to it, John, but the way you said that was like, you know, Peter went to South London Press, Evening Standard, 1 or 2 others, you know.
Yeah.
Sorry, John.
Yeah, I waste a bit of time on the old train and that.
Yeah.
As I've gone to go into the ground, steward come over to me and said, "Can I have a look through your bag?" So I opened my bag up, and he said, "Sorry, you're not allowed into the ground with that." And I said, "What?" He said, "All those newspapers." So I said, "No, what do you mean, all of them?" He said, "Well, we can't allow any of them newspapers, and not those either." And he was pointing to the notebooks.
Oh, notebooks, yeah. You might be making notes.
You know, there was like a bit of a crowd sort of laughing and that.
Yeah.
So I said, well, why not? He said, you know, he just walked away, you know, sort of job's worth type of like, he just sort of walked off. So next minute this policeman's come over and that. They explained, I did my Millwall Supporters Club thing that was in me bag as well, like.
Yeah.
And he said to me, "No, I'm ever so sorry, he's quite correct. You're not allowed into the ground." I said, "Well, why? I mean, I'm not going to sort of pick them up and
try and wrap a player or stuff one."
He said that they set fire to the newspapers at the previous home game and threw them all up in the air. But I said, "Yeah, but I'm not going to do that." He said, "Well,
how do we know?"
Yeah, do yourself a favour. He said, "Go and stick them by that dustbin in the corner and pick them up after the game."
Now, here's the thing. I'm going to look at the... You see, I don't spend that much time on my own. I've got family, and you know, but occasionally I do spend some time on my own. Amongst the top 3 activities is not setting fire to a load of newspapers and throwing them all up in the air. Although, when you said it sounded damn attractive. Yeah. It sounded quite... Who was it, do you know, who set fire to newspapers and threw them all up in the air?
I don't know. They just said it happened at a previous game. But what I said was I didn't mind sort of throwing the newspapers sort of in the corner, not so much, even though I hadn't read them all. But it was the notebooks, you know what I mean? I had sort of like bits and pieces.
And you thought you were going to set fire to a Bassett and Bond and throw it up in the air?
That's it. I was just...
it wasn't one of those ones with a wire spiral through, because that could be... Oh, there's your danger then. Yeah. You might make a wire spiral weapon.
When was this?
Last season.
Was it?
Yeah.
No newspapers in the ground?
Throughout the winter of 1943, Russian scientists worked on the wire spiral weapon.
Well, here's the thing. We've got 2 theories here, John. Yeah. One is that, this, you know, apart from Cuba and our dear friends over in Albania, one of the last outposts of totalitarian communism is Deepdale, where they have one newspaper and one newspaper only. All others are shut down immediately, including the one you brought. Yeah. And the fire theory, I don't know. The fire theory, I'm not buying.
That sounds good.
Well, what I did in the end, I said, this is like a bit silly, like, you know. So I went to like one of the club shop.
Yeah.
And I spoke to a sort of elderly lady there. She said, we'll hold them for you till after the match. Simple as that, like, there was no problem.
Well, again, they may have taken an instruction too literally. When they line up all the police before those games, before they all drive off and they have the maps and the charts up on the wall, I think, you know, because they'd fallen out with 1 or 2, and, or, you know, there may have been a scandal at the club brewing, and they said, you know, we're not allowing having any newspapers in the ground today, and they may have taken it too literally and thought they meant the physical papers. But otherwise, John, I don't know why that would be. But there's our old favourite, things you've been refused entry to the ground with, and setting fire newspapers and throwing them up in the air. Yeah, we're aware there have been tragedies in football ground with fire, but we're not dealing with that. However, I did see, and I must say, it was hilarious at the time. It really was, at Luton. Now, John?
I was there.
At Luton. Do you remember behind the goal, in the days before special areas were made for, and this is right, and it could have been very bad, but it wasn't, and it all passed off vaguely safely, and we, you know, there was comeuppance there anyway, because the old Bill got on the Millwall support quite badly that night. Yeah. So, but behind the goal was they used to cover shots behind the goal. They had to build some kind of sort of scaffolding, didn't they?
Yeah.
And there was a big ladder that got the cameraman up there, you see.
That's right.
And do you remember they put all the papers around it and set fire to the ladder?
That's right, yeah.
And the fella's up there on his camera, he's looking, oh.
I was right near there.
Yeah, that's right. They set fire to his ladder. The game was going on, and he thought, what are you all doing down the front there? Because you could see people squatting down on their haunches, and it was just like, it was like that tracker in Butch Cassidy who follows people over solid rock. What's his name? Lord Baltimore. That's his name.
Yeah.
Of course it's Lord Baltimore. And you thought, what are they doing? There's about 6 or 7 squatting down, and other people all applauding.
And then they all stood up, and you could see, yes, the rosy got, they'd set fire to the cameraman's ladder, so he was stuck up there. And of course the police came in and stamped it out. It was a very small fire and looked around for someone to club. But yeah, they set fire to the ladder behind the goal. Now,
One thing,
quite rightly, now Preston are wreaking their revenge.
One thing, you know, we said nothing at all had happened over the Christmas holiday.
Yes.
One thing has happened, hasn't it? I'm reminded of it by Dave Murphy from Hull, who sent me a very exciting picture of, you know, garden gnomes had beards.
Yes.
All you got to do is make them look like Ken Bassett, just paint a Chelsea kit on them. Look at that.
Oh, that is... Yes, it is.
That's Dave Murphy from Hull, very good.
It is. Any garden gnome can look like Ken Bates.
Just put a Chelsea kit on it, and there you are. Now, the point I'm making is, one thing that has happened, while we sleep and while we're eating our festive turkey, up comes the news that Ken Bates may be in charge of the FA.
No, didn't he make some arbitrary slaughtering of the previous administration? Didn't he say
already,
it's rotten to the core already?
All we have to do is kick the door and the whole rotting edifice will come down
tumbling down. Yes, he's already started that.
Now, can you imagine Ken Bates, if England get them 2006 World Cup, how will he stop the trouble? Big barbed wire fence around the whole country.
With electric running through it. Electric fences around it. Ken, the football fan's friend.
He's going to be in charge of the FA.
Going to be
come back, Graham, come back.
Exactly. Yeah, we like Graham. Ken's never going to ring. Ken Bates is never going to ring this programme up. He's never, even to say, all right, what have you got to say to me? I'll say F off, Beardo.
Wow.
That's it. That's that call. If ever you wanted to hear it, you just heard it. That's basically it. I like Graham Kelly, but that's it. There will be no more Saturday night shows now. All right, bung someone through this. It's night 2, and this is Mark. Hello, Mark. Thank you for hanging on. Welcome to Talk Radio.
Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you, Mark. Thank you very much indeed.
You said nothing happened in the third round today.
Nah, not a thing. You're going to have to have a tough time convincing us anything went on.
We had the fastest onset of a case of flu the planet's ever seen.
Ah, now, is this the... who is this?
Dave Bassett.
Well, go on.
Well, in the Mirror this morning, he said that if Forest lose, then he could lose his job as a sort of motivates the players.
Yeah.
And it seems to have backfired on him from, like, one of the worst displays the team's ever made.
Yeah, you're quite right. The only vague headlines that have come out of it is the Russian and Germans draw with Leeds and the idea that Forest are now, you know, sinking faster than fill in your own thing, because I can't think of one. Yeah. Okay, so what's the flu thing?
So he was on the pitch all the way through the second half and berating the players, etc. But his excuse for not turning up for the after-match...
No, but between the final whistle and the press conference, you're not going to tell me...
Flu.
No!
Yes.
I think flew to Mauritius is the full sentence he was looking for.
Flew from ground, yeah.
It was a big case of yellow fever.
No, big yellow stripe down the back, yeah, exactly.
Right.
What's a chicken Judas that'll be, in a very... But you're a Forest...
chicken, Danny, just chicken.
Are you a Forest fan?
I am indeed.
Well, what's going to... Is he had it? Is it his fault?
His tactics have been absolutely abysmal all season.
Yeah. But he still is just about the most eccentric post-match or any-time interview.
He does a good interview after the match, I think.
He doesn't do a good interview. He says nothing, but doesn't stop for breath. Now, I don't know why I should feel any kind of kinship with that, but nevertheless...
At least you're not calling yourself because he's Dave Bassett thinks this. He does a bit of that third person.
He does third person. Dan, ask me, Dave, you must be disappointed about it. First thing Dave Bassett does, is not let the person get to the end of the question.
So, Dave, another 2-1 home defeat.
Well, yes, it would have been, it would have been very good to have got the point, but it weren't going to be like that. Football can be like that on the day, and today it just wasn't going to be. I never said it was going to be on the day.
You had a number of injuries, Dave.
Had a number of injuries around the place, but you have to you've got a squad, you go with that, you see. But we can't. At the moment, we just can't seem to get the ball rolling.
West Ham are not a bad team.
They're a bad team in one way, but it jumps right in at the end and does not stop. And I like that, because once you listen, the next time Dave Bass is interviewed, you hear this. But couldn't... and that's it. You set Dave off, and he's terrified to stop talking in case some pertinent point is made. Which reminds us, you're listening to Danny Baker and Danny Kelly on Talk Radio. Wait a minute.
Now listen up, no good nicks who run Talk Radio. I think we can't do a post-match show. Listen to this.
What have you heard about Bassett's resignation? Anything?
Nothing. He's going to read off the teletext.
I know. That was me feed to you to make you sound all right.
Oh no. Oh yeah. And Dave Bassett has quit as Nottingham Forest boss after his side's defeat by Portsmouth, according to unconfirmed reports from the City Ground. Forest currently lie bottom of the Premiership, but Charlton are coming to their rescue, and Bassett watched his side crash to Pompey in the FA Cup. He took charge of the club in Mold. Enzelo detail about what he's done. And there's a Van Hooyd on drunk saga side and all that.
Well, you see, Greg here, who, forgive me, has one of the more lethargic voices of our little team. Greg, I don't even Greg could make this news. You can see if you can make it less sensational than it is. Just read the first paragraph, Greg.
Dave Bassett has quit as Nottingham Forest boss after his side's defeat by Portsmouth, according to unconfirmed reports from the City Ground.
Yeah, see, I believe him. I didn't believe you. You sounded pixie-ish. Thank you very much indeed, Greg. So, yeah, Dave's gone. That's it. He's Dave again now, is he?
Dave, yeah, not Harry, yeah.
When was he Harry?
He's Harry to the football pros, isn't he? They all call him Harry, just to make you feel...
Is this like Roger McGuinn and...
No, Roger McGuinn changed his name because his guru told him to, didn't he?
That's right, Roger McGuinn.
And what was the name he was toying with for a while?
Metro.
Because it was Metro.
Metro Go Gwyn Mayer and all that. No, Jim McGuinn of the Birds, in case you're behind the speed here, Jim McGuinn of the Birds, his guru...
So now we're going over live to the City Ground where Dave Bassett has come out. So, Dave, you decided to quit...
I've decided to quit, yeah. I thought, I'd given someone a chance while the season's still got something to run, because...
Yeah, but really, it seems like a very strange time.
It is a strange thing to do, yes, I'll say that, and I'm not a quitter, I never have been a quitter. I think there's a lot to do.
Dave Bassett's not a quitter.
No, Dave Bassett's not been a quitter. He's going to jump on. Listen, all the interviews tonight, he'll be upbeat, he'll be right on top of the question before they get to the end of it.
And as long as, as he's talking away, chirping away, Pierre Van Hooydonck's big shiny old head just keeps coming into shot.
Well, I don't think I like Dave Bassett. He takes teams up.
Top man.
He's the grand old Duke of York, isn't he? Because he marches them up to the top of the hill.
And he musses them down again.
Every club he goes to, he's the grand old Duke of York.
Alan Ball only knows half of that trick, doesn't he?
Yes, he does. But Dave Bassett regularly marches his teams up to the top of the hill, and then he marches them straight back down again. He's got no idea about keeping them up, does he?
Messing without Crystal Palace's team in the early 80s, if your club, however small and whatever league it's in, if you've been described as the future of football or the team of the decade, we want to hear about how that went forward.
You remember when, I don't know if it was this chairman, no, it wasn't this chairman, it was the chairman before this chairman, or it might have been the chairman before that
You got
chairman.
Mr. Zabidopoulos.
Yeah, but I think he's going to be in another 10 minutes, him. Yeah, it's not happening, is it?
I keep hearing that you're going to buy the club.
He actually said to me...
I do keep hearing that.
I'm going to buy the club.
I get rung up twice. Danny, I get rung up twice a week now at work. There's
absolutely no possible... I mean, it's just absurd.
No possible money for a start.
If I had whatever it cost to buy, I'll go and buy Millwall. No, I've never taken a tanner at the club. I go in, I sit down, I watch the games, I go home again. That is my entire involvement with them. And I can sit there, never want to sit there and fiddle while Rome burns. Oh, thank you very much, Mr. Theo. I'm going to say another canapé. Thank you very much. No, I shall sit there and I shall coat them, and I shall be a sponsor.
Ever said his goons round to get you?
People say to me, why didn't you put some money into Millwall? I said, what have we doing since I was 5 years old then? Like the rest of us chucking money now.
Greg has just written the words, protesting too much down here.
Well, definitely not. All right, I tell you what, I can't think of a phrase that is strong enough to say no anymore.
Do you categorically deny it?
Danny Kelly will buy Tottenham Hotspurs before
that's not possible. That's just ridiculous. I'd need 70 million.
Well, how much do you need to take over Millwall then?
A couple of mil.
Couple of mil?
You could get the money off Chris Evans tomorrow from the turn-ups of his trousers.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, Chris can buy Millwall now. I wouldn't be interested in buying Millwall.
He's buying it. You can tell he's buying it now, isn't he? Mr. Millwall.
It's just come up with CFAX.
1999, maybe some year, let's say that, ladies and gentlemen. You had a fax confirming it. I shot out during the last advert some fax that's confirming it.
I'm sorry if I didn't know you didn't want to go public with this.
I didn't want to go public with it. I didn't want to go, but my offer's in. It's on the table. You can imagine. I can't. During the adverts, I'll think of a.
I swear to you, I'm not kidding you. We don't see each other.
No, I know. I can imagine.
It's always new. I get phone. I know what it's about.
Why would?
Actually, no, I know what it's about.
I don't.
Oh, I think
I know.
Yes, I know what it's about.
I'm certainly not going to buy them. I don't know. I'm not even. The conversation's never been in any room I've ever had.
Keith Stevens has killed himself now.
Just what I was going to say. This chairman, but the chairman before that, not the chairman before that, said, "This is a sleeping giant of a club, Millwall. We have the capacity to be the QPR of the South." He did. Yes, he did.
Take her out. Take her out. Take her out.
Money into this club. A lot of money into this club. More than you people into this club.
Take her out.
I will not be moved. Millwall is a club going forward.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much indeed. Just getting in training there for the I've put a lot of time and money into this club. I'm not a quitter. I will not. I know we are now bottom of the Dr.
Danny
Martin
Baker's not a quitter.
By the way, I quit. Of course, Harry Bassett would handle that a lot better. Ask Harry why he quit.
Now, there's a good manager for the lower leagues. Suddenly swimming about. Be afraid. Be very afraid.
I would love
all
Dave
football
Bassett.
Managers,
because Dave Bassett would march us up to the top of the hill. Sure, he'd march us back down again. That's what we did before.
Ups is good.
Ups is good.
good.
Yeah.
I'd like that. Dave Bassett, come and take over Millwall. Or Razor Ruddock, he wanted Millwall as well. He told me personally, I'd love to be the manager of Millwall, but they were too mean to take on a proper manager. That's it. So they got Keith Stevens. What, they give another 50? Must have given Keith Stevens another 50 bob a week. Come and take over the team. All right, I'll be manager. You know. Well, no, they're starting on my own side. Go on then, because, you know, I might have to deal with these people soon. Yeah. Bung someone through.
They'll be your lucky
line 5
soon.
I'm throwing my hat into the ring.
With your big beige cowboy hat has gone in the ring.
Cowboy hat has gone in the ring. I'm forming a consortium tomorrow. I'll take over the club. Yeah, all right. Yeah, there it's out now. Who's there, by the way? Who is it? It's Theodopoulos accepting my offer. Hello, Jerry.
Take her out. Take her out.
You've got something you want to do at the end.
Yeah, no, this is a very good thing. Now, normally, we sit here at the end of the show, and this is the Revenge of the Foreigners. Revenge of the Foreigners, thanks to a long list sent to us by a man who signs himself Roland Hoehing, who, of course, was one of the foreign players with Troy Eicht. Roland is Dutch. And his parents are Dutch, but he lives in England. His parents recently came over to visit him, and they watched a football match on the television, and they watched all of match of the day, and they were in stitches, because English and Dutch are very dissimilar languages in many ways.
Right.
And the surnames of English players translate very differently.
As I understand it, it's like when we laugh at somebody called Hector Arse.
Yes.
And we say, he doesn't know his name in English.
Yes.
This is what English names mean.
And I'm going to give you a list of about 25 players from the Premiership.
All right.
And you can read them out to me, and I will tell you what the Dutch people think about those names.
Okay, here we go.
You must read them in order, please.
We've got a minute, so here we go. Okay. Stan Collymore.
Surname means nothing, just sounds funny.
Okay. That's a good start.
Yeah.
Julian Jochin.
Julian Fishbait.
Simon Grayson.
Simon the Clown.
Jeff Kenner.
Jeff, slang for farting.
It's not.
It is.
In Dutch? Okay.
Yeah.
Let me move down a bit. Clive Mendonca.
No, keep going on the list.
Sorry. Eddie Youds.
Means nothing, just sounds funny in Dutch.
Clive Mendonca.
Clive Undertaker.
Carl Tyler.
Carl Pubic.
Rory Delap.
Rory Poor Pint of Beer.
Danny Cardamenteri.
Means nothing, just sounds funny.
David Weatherall.
David Stargazer.
Muzzy Izzet.
Muzzy Bed Mattress.
Steve Guppy.
Steve Smoked Fish.
Robert Ullathorne.
No, means nothing, just sounds funny.
Steve McManaman.
Means nothing, just sounds funny.
Jamie Redknapp.
Jamie Saw Penis.
Dennis Irwin.
Dennis Rodent.
Marlon Beresford.
Marlon Towncrier.
Alan Shearer.
Alan Woolly Jumper.
Scott Gemmell.
Scott Drink Driver.
Andy Hinchcliffe.
Means nothing, just sounds funny.
Matt Letitia.
Matt the Cucumber Seller.
Francis Benali.
Francis Tea Time.
Rule Fox.
Rule Strong Cheese.
Rio Ferdinand.
Rio Poor Hairdresser.
Ben Thatcher.
Ben Sleepwalker.
Ken Cunningham.
Means nothing, just sounds funny.
Yeah, that's good today.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you've ever followed our shows before, and there's no reason to suspect you should have done, you know it is a football supporters show. It is not actually about football, because the difference is there's football and there's football supporting, and the two things are totally different. Most areas in the media don't understand that. They think we really do sit around going, do you think Les Ferdinand's fit today, rather than talking about grand old stories from years ago, or even today when you're on the road with football.
And the good news for us, of course, is that the gap between football and football supporters grows wider by the day, because the publicity machine... This is how football is today.
Well, it's why
arms in the ground. Yes, it wasn't like that at all.
Exactly. They don't quite, which is why television and radio, to a large extent, and no offence to Alan Brazil here, of course, is still listening. 30 stone Alan Brazil, who they do like to employ old footballers to do the coverage.
I nearly crashed my car.
Which to me is like getting old actors to do film reviews all the time. You're not going to get the full experience. However, this is all rambling towards one end. We once had the most successful string of calls in the history of the world from a woman called Joanne, who makes it not her business, but her preference is for professional Premier League footballers. She meets them, she beds them, she makes no difference about
by
them.
the yard.
She's a wonderful woman, and I'm happy to say she is back with us now. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the airways, our friend Joanne. Joanne!
Hello, Danny.
Hello, Joanne.
See, you with all your money, you're still, Joanne is...
you see, you and your sloppy jumper didn't do the business when Joanne came down to TFI. Now we'll see the lie of the land.
She used to fancy me more than you, but see, that's before you came into
all changed.
Yeah, Joanne doesn't mind coming into money. Here we go. Joanne, how the hell are you?
I'm fine, thank you, Danny. Very happy.
Well, we're very glad to hear from you again. It's been about a year or so since we last spoke to you. Now, the last time we spoke to you, there were 4 different bows
4 different lovers of yours.
That's right.
Who played at the time for the same club in the Premier League.
No, one of them moved on, as I recall.
That's right, yeah.
Really? Now, what is your state of play today? How was it for you?
Well, both 3 still around.
Lover 3 still around.
Just occasionally.
Still playing for the same club?
Yes.
I've got to remember who this was. I've got a fair idea, yes.
He's got an orange tan at the moment.
Hang on, you're giving away more details than you need to. Am I right in that name?
Yes, correct. Well done. Very good, Danny.
That's the only one.
Look at the smile on his face. Got something right. Look, he's delighted.
All right, I remember him. Okay, and he's very famous. He's been in the headlines over the millennium. That's pretty good.
Fast improving. I think he's good.
Okay, so you're still seeing him. And Joanne, you know there are no secrets to it. Joanne, are you still having sex with him?
Oh, yes, that's all we have.
That's the thing, then.
Okay. If anyone thinks this is a one-up, it isn't. Joanne is a wonderful person. She knows her own mind and body. Joanne, so there's just him, is there?
No, I'm back with my manager now.
Wow.
Now, Joanne, let me get this right. This is the manager who was so afraid of you after you'd had the first fling with him that you managed to persuade him to give you several thousand of your English pounds.
Yeah, didn't he give you £5,000 once?
That's right.
So-called hush money.
No, to go and buy yourself. Wasn't there?
She bought some. She get photographs, wasn't it?
That's it. But he got some photographs back from me. But there's another professional footballer. We're just trying to bring herself up to date here.
Yeah.
Who didn't he give you 50 quid to buy something nice?
Yes, that was Bo too, who I had the 3 in the bed thing with.
Yeah, you did.
With an unbelievably hard case Premiership footballer.
Again, just to bring everyone up to speed, she had a three in a bed romp with 2 professional footballers. And the staggering thing was, at one point in the proceedings, tell us what happened, Joanne.
Well, they recreated a goal one of them scored at Wembley.
They grabbed hold of each other. Oh, you don't want to know. If only we could tell you the names, ladies and gentlemen.
To be fair, this is a new detail. They recreated a goal one.
No, she said that.
I was lost in the swoonosphere at that time.
and Joanne folded her arms and sat on a chair and watched the 2 of them grab hold of each other.
Yeah.
Yeah. So getting back to sensation upon sensation. But you're back with the manager.
Yes, because back a couple of months ago I was summoned to the ground. He sent a car for me.
Did he?
Yes. And
see, that's where your ticket money's going, everyone. Yeah, go on.
Yeah, football manager's behaving like the leaders of the Russian Communist Party. Go on.
I went up there and he came out to the car to see me, and basically he was in tears and he said he just can't live without the sex.
Really?
Yes.
Now, wasn't he married?
Yes, he still is.
Well, he still is. Yes, I mean, I don't want to give too much, but yes, so this is not a fellow who just couldn't pull, if you forgive the phrase. He just simply missed Joanne's particular technique. Now, you're very obliging. Why didn't you tell him to go away with fleas in ears and such like?
Well, he's a very generous person, and I was looking to the future.
Right.
I was thinking, well, I was getting a bit fed up with both 3 at that time.
I see. Now, so there's just the 2 of them on the go at the moment?
No.
Oh, man alive. This is Brett. Go on. Who?
Well, I'm in Liverpool at the moment.
Okay.
With someone.
Okay. Now, we're not going to say whether they're playing at the moment, or whether they're home, or whether they're visiting team. We'll just leave it at that. Stop looking at the paper over there. It doesn't give you any clue. She may be lying. Okay. And this is a new conquest?
Yes. I met him about 3 weeks ago. Mm-hmm. And there was a party last night that his team were all there.
Premier League?
Yes.
Good to hear them having a party the night before a match.
Yeah, okay, so yeah.
And I'm actually here with a couple of friends of mine. Dancers. Oh, sorry, they're table dancers.
Yeah. Table? Oh, yeah, exactly. Don't insult the girls.
No, it's important because Danny's an expert in this field. He needs to know.
Table dancing is even better. Could I just...
Kabassis the Tishka
where do the girl... Where is the girls' establishment? No, not entirely. Which area is it in?
It's here.
It's in Liverpool?
Yeah, they work here, yeah.
Fully nude?
Yes.
It's fully nude.
And what are their names?
No. Dan, easy. We'll be right.
Helen.
1 minute, Joanne. We'll be right back.
Helen.
More from Joanne in just a second. And in the meantime, if the rest of you can bear it, get to the phones and ring up yourselves. Here we go. Line 10 again. This is Joanne back with us. Joanne.
Hi, Danny.
Hi, Joanne. You pretty much have you've lost none of your power. You've rocked us, and I suspect the listening public back on their heels.
To build up our resistance to you, Joanne. It hasn't worked.
So you're in Liverpool with 2 other table dancers.
Yeah.
Now, not other. You're not a table. You're not a table dancer.
No.
It's only because you don't want to be. Anyway, Joe.
She's a seamstress or something.
Are the table dancers on the prowl for footballers?
Well, they came to there was a party last night that my new Beau's team had.
Now, this is the new Beau.
Yes.
Is this the one you showed me the name of, Dan?
He's the new Beau.
This is a very famous Beau.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you target him? Did you go after him?
No, I actually met him at a bootleg Beatles concert.
Did you?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, yes, so you bootleg beat Wisconsin, you met this beau there.
Yeah.
Was he aware of your reputation?
He was, yeah.
Did he? Did he say, oh, you're the who goes out with...
image then.
Oh, I see. So, and so his eyes lit up, and he's invited you to his fixture today.
Yes.
A Premier League fixture, right?
But this party last night was pretty good because my friend Helen danced for the manager of this team.
Now you're
manager was at the party?
Not the manager, the Premier League manager you're going out with.
No,
the manager of his club.
My new beau's manager.
What, a one-on-one?
Yeah, he specifically asked for her and he gave her £500.
Was there a back room? No, there wasn't a back room.
He gave her 500 in your English.
He gave you He gave your friend, the table dancer.
She told him she wasn't working, so he offered her £500 to dance for him.
Could this be in any way... I'm just teasing along here, but could this in any way be described as a wild party?
Yes.
Was it?
Very.
Was it really?
Joanne, I'm just asking this question out of interest.
No, easy up. You'll try and work in the name of your website.
I'm not. No, I'm not. I don't need
to.
Well,
there's 365 people there. Okay, of course, yeah.
Joanne, would you say that the party was likely to impair this team's performance today?
I think so.
Really?
Yes.
It was a good time, though, eh?
Yeah.
Oh, man alive. Now, you're there to see... well, it doesn't matter who you're there to see. You're there to see your new beau, and the two girls are looking forward to the final whistle so they can get stuck in again, are they?
Yes, well, Helen's had some flowers come from the manager as well today.
For 500 quid and flowers?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
This is an unlikely scenario,
No wonder the table dancers give me the skunk eye when I just put the £2 coins down the drawers. That's it. OK, thank you. Joanne...
change.
Exactly. Joe, God bless you. We love you. We've missed you, and we'll speak to you again next week, can we?
Yes, of course, Danny.
Thank you very
Wonderful.
much. That's
Bye-bye now.
that's the football sexual diary of our friend Joe, and well, you can hear the ramifications involved in it.
You don't get that on commercial radio.
There will be some ramifications as well. So Anna Kournikova, who's on the cover of many places, including the Times this morning, looking like that. She's supposed to be being knocked off by Philippoussis, who says, "No, she's just a friend. I've known her for years." No, well, she's going out with him.
By stepping out, very good.
Yeah, which is, I think, is a cruel trick of nature, because here we have a fantastic babe, got to be the first non-lesbian tennis player woman, and that's one woman I wouldn't mind being a lesbian, because, you don't know, there might be a window open somewhere. Okay, it's 1:15.
What on earth was that about? That stream of unconsciousness.
She's wonderful.
She's beautiful,
and
yes.
She's going out with a bloke. Now, if it said she's going out with a woman, we could have all said, aye, and fair dues. Yeah, I'm just building mental pictures. It's radio.
Ding,
it's radio.
Ding.
Here we go. We're talking about players who have lost their minds, strangely. Here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, all see what I'm leading towards here. I'm leading towards the worlds of the sexual, and ladies and gentlemen, it's rock and roll and football and sex. Here comes Joanne. Joanne!
Hello, Danny.
Hello, Joanne.
Now, we've got to be very, very careful, Joanne, because our lives are plagued, Joanne. More than yours, I suspect, by people saying, "Now, come on. Who is it? Where are we at the moment?"
I've never been so pop. My answer phone, like, banging on and on and on.
Here's the thing, just for the one or two people who are still not aware of your legend, Joe. Joanne, a long time ago, we did a football phone-in. I've been out with a footballer, and Joe rang up and said, "I've not only ever been out with football, I'm going up with 4 Premier League players at the moment." That was 1, 2, 3, 4. It fluctuates between, like, 5 and 3. What is the state of play at the moment with your love life, Joe?
Well, there's 3.5.
3.5. Now, they're all Premier League players?
Managers.
Oh, yes, of course, there's the manager in there, isn't there? Now, people think,
managers.
Managers? Managers? Was there an S there?
Yeah.
The thing with
I've become a very good Joanne watcher, like Kremlin watchers, every inference, every flexion.
He's down in the basement mixing up the medicine. Joe, people regularly say, "Oh, that whole thing's a wind-up," and it would be, if it were, it would have been exhausted by now. And if you are, if you were lying, you're extremely good at it. But we happen to know on the one time we met, photographic evidence and all this, and our jaws went bing, your drawers went ding.
I was going to say,
sorry.
If it is a lie, liar, pants on fire.
So, Joe, you're going out with managers now.
Well,
how's this happened?
Well, I went to a really good match on Wednesday, and afterwards I ended up snogging the manager.
Wow. Okay. So here's the thing. Here's the thing. Is I know. This is. I believe you dropped down a division. If you. Well, I'll tell you what I think's happening here. So, Joe, how come you have free access like the cows in Wanstead Flats?
How do you think, Danny?
Hey?
How do you think she has free access?
No, I mean, she turns. Are you famous within football grounds now?
At this one, because I used to work there.
Oh, right. Oh, yeah, remember, yeah.
That's right. When you first came on the air, that was
you were extremely busy, I remember.
Didn't they put a calendar up with a lot of suggestive jokes on it or something?
That's right, yeah.
What was it? What did they do?
They've got a naked picture of Danny Kelly up.
That's right.
That's it.
They're to a penny now in most London arcades. Why did they pick on me? What's wrong with him? other than the thought of it is just too unbearable.
They can get more dates on yours.
That is very true.
So, Joe, you're going out with managers at the moment, are you?
Well,
not really.
Well, I hope I've still got my manager because I've been in casualty with him this morning.
No.
The one I've been seeing.
Now, hang on. This is this. I was only told a couple of things off here because we have to plot our way very carefully through this because this is all true, even though it's bizarre and it's wonderful. Now, tell everyone. I'm going to go very quiet here. Tell everyone what. This is so good. This is a manager. I hope this would have been case. But anyway, tell everyone why you had to go to casualty.
Well, we were in bed last night, and suddenly...
Just one second, just give it the actual, as it was told to me. Has he got... Joe, there's only one way of hitting this. Has he got twisted testicles?
Yes!
Has he been a casualty?
Somebody enlighten me. I've not got no formal medical training. Twisted testicles? What is that?
Well, you bloody pay for it.
Is it? Public Health Inspector C knows all about it.
So, you were in casualty this morning.
At 4 o'clock in the morning.
Wow!
While he was being examined, he got asked for his autograph.
That can happen.
How... All right, I won't know how the injury happened, but do they remain sort of twisted like shoelaces?
Yeah, they were twisted.
Really?
I've never seen anything like it.
No,
I can only think about those donuts where they make
that kind of thing. How? Well, I don't want to get too graphic.
I don't know. I thought he got cramp.
Did they look? Did they look twisted?
Yes.
Wow.
And
this is the manager you've been going for some time, yeah?
Yeah.
This is your abundant permanent. Now, you're still with one player, yeah?
2.
2 players,
yeah.
Okay. And okay, wait there, Joe. We'll be right back. We'll be right back with more from Joe. 1 second. Okay, so Joe's still with us. I believe Joe, you're still there, aren't you? Joe?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, I thought I cut you off for a second there. What plans for the day on the future, Joe? You going to a game today?
Going to a game today, yeah. I've got to see the manager that I snubbed on Wednesday, so I won't mention it if he doesn't.
No, well, that's just...
Do you think he's likely to mention it, Joe?
I don't know.
A friendly peck on the cheek and over here and there. That's nothing. It's the twisted testicles we want to get back to. Is he all right now?
Well, he went home in a taxi about 10 o'clock this morning. Didn't look very well.
Really?
No.
Good God. I mean, so what's the treatment for that? I suppose one holds the sack and the others turn you around. No, one must hold.
Is it like a light bulb? What's the story with it?
They kind of swing the two. One gets your head, and then they kind of do you like a propeller until they are untwisted. I've never heard of it, Joe, but there it is.
Neither had I. Never seen it.
Was it your fault, do you think?
Pardon?
Was it your fault?
I don't know.
Last week when you were talking, because we hadn't spoken obviously for about a year, and you know you've still got this thing for footballers, and when you go to a game, even if you're there with one of your Premier League playing lovers, have you still got a roving eye? Thinking,
I can't help it.
Really?
Yeah.
It's like Marilyn Monroe and Some Lucky Highs it for saxophone players. You're footballers, and that's how we first met. So have you got somebody you're after at the moment?
Well, there was someone I had a one-night stand with when you were...
Now, this wasn't the striker who knocked you about a bit, was it?
Yes.
Really?
Oh, you like him, do you?
Really?
I did like him. I'd love to get back with him.
But he was
very like the devil to me.
He was very... He was... I mean, his physical reputation carries beyond the pitch, I take it.
Yeah, and he's got a great collection of waistcoats.
Really?
He spent an hour showing me them.
Really?
That is some foreplay, an hour showing you the waistcoats.
Look at this, darling.
and then proceeded to do a caveman kind of turn, did he?
Yeah.
See, this is why we know this is all genuine, because where does a detail like that come from? This is a Premier League striker, and he has to be tough on the pitch, obviously, they all do. But, Joe, it was quite an experience, in the boudoir too, eh?
Yes, it was.
And you don't mind a bit of that?
No, I didn't then.
No.
And you're not with Helen, the lap dancer, who I haven't been able to stop thinking about all week, are you?
Last week when Joe called us, she was with a couple of table dancers,
including Helen.
And you were at a Premier League club where another manager, not necessarily one we've been talking about here, here.
No.
Paid. What did he do? He paid how much?
He paid £500 for my friend Helen to dance for him.
Wow.
And he's been back to their club 3 times this week.
Really?
It's so hard to believe of the individual,
No,
isn't it?
I don't think so. I don't think so. Not really. No, I don't think so. I'll tell you afterwards why I don't think it's hard to believe.
We're talking about the same man, are we?
Just lastly,
And also, he's been back to that club all week.
Yeah,
we
you
just said that.
You just said that. Yeah, you did. But the last thing.
Got to turn your radio off.
How did how did last week work out then? What happened after that? Did the table dancers go home? Did you make a weekend of it?
No, they pulled.
Did they?
Yes.
Players?
Yes.
Well, that's all going on. Well, Joe, I don't know when we'll meet again because this is Danny and I's
What's the point of working on the radio? Professional football's got everything going, haven't they?
This is the last time we're going to meet Joe for a while because Danny and I are homeless again after today. Yeah, I've only been doing this for 2 weeks while Terry Venables is away and Russ.
Rouse, we're clearing this out into the yard.
I do hope you'll keep in touch with us, Joe, because I believe the nation is gripped by your events, as were the testicles of a Premier League manager. I didn't know that sentence was going to end like that. So God bless Joe. A kiss on the cheek from me
yes,
and from Dan.
Bye, Joe.
Yeah.
I've got my backless drawers on today.
No. You see, here's the thing. She knows now. I was after a nice fluid thought like I just had. I've gone all to pieces again.
Like the bloke in the Fast Show.
Can I just ask you something? Anna Kurakova.
Yeah.
She's really. I mean, you know, if she were a lesbian.
Yeah, I would.
Oh God! That's where I'm ending that.
Show over. Let's go.
Poor old Jeff in Romford's got to come on and follow that now. We've been being hit by the ball story.
Slink aboard, Jeff.
He will. Okay, Jeff, you'll be next. Hopefully, 0500 30 12 15. You can add to the show.